Welcome to the most dangerous planet in the universe, where everything is trying to kill you.
I need a hand.
Dimitrius, Elle, congratulations on the film. It's awesome. I have so many questions for y'all, and I think the thing that really sticks out for you, Elle, is you're performing as two different androids in here, and it's like, you know, you're all kind of created equal, but then you go your different ways.
Yes.
How is it to play two different characters as an android, but also lending a little bit of humanity to it?
Totally. I think, you know, that's something that I was drawn to with the project. I was really excited by that challenge and to join, you know, the other kind of iconic synths that we've seen in the Alien universe. Such amazing actors have played them in the past, and I wanted to, I mean, Dan and I, we wanted to create some, you know, androids that we have never seen before. And, you know, specifically with Thia, I think she's quite a personality. You know, she's very spunky, she's very positive, she almost has this comedic edge, and that's very new and fresh for this franchise and this world. And yeah, she's both of them actually are the most like advanced androids we've seen, because it's the furthest into the future that the Alien universe has been, or the Predator universe has been. So that gave us some freedom to give them more human-like qualities, or have empathy and emotion in a different way. I mean, Tessa, she's a little bit different. She's a little more scientific and I guess a little bad, but she was also just as fun to play and make them, you know, really separate the two. It was a big challenge, but fun.
You hit on something there with the comedic aspect of it, which is not something that we're used to seeing in Predator movies, right? Yeah. So Dimitrius, for you, when you first see the script and you see all these things that you were going to be doing as a Predator, are you like, wow, we've never done this kind of stuff before? Can we pull this off?
Yeah, definitely, man. That was a thought that crossed my mind. Like, this is a stretch, you know, very, very different to what has already been established in the franchise, you know. And I think with anything new, you're always a bit hesitant, like, oh, is this gonna work? Is this not? But I think knowing that Dan was the one leading it, you know, and seeing what he was able to do with Prey, and the energy that he brings and the passion that he has for the franchise, you know, my first conversations with him literally wasn't even about the script. Like, it was about his knowledge of Predator lore and like how much he loves this franchise. So I was like, man, if a fan is making this, you know, like you can't go wrong. He's making a film that he wants to see, you know, that he loves. And yeah, seeing how invested he was, that is what sold me. I was like, okay, I think it can work. It's a lot. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I think it can work.
Yeah.
It certainly does work, and between the two of y'all, like, again, it's something that I'm not used to saying when I see a Predator movie, because I've really enjoyed all of them to this point. And then you see this, and you all have such an amazing chemistry when you're on screen together. How did that work? Was there a moment on set when you're like, oh, we got something here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, thank God I'm so happy it was Dimitrius that I was, you know, on the back of, because we were put in, you know, uncomfortable situations, like physically, that we had to kind of support each other. He's in the full suit. We're filming on location in New Zealand in real, in real rivers, up mountains, and then also with the harnesses and the wire work for us to be strapped together. So you get very close when you're in that situation.
Physically and...
Yes, so like, okay. But we were always checking to make sure, like, you know, are you good? And are you comfortable? We're like, yeah, as much as we can be. But really tried to, you know, help each other out. And his braids would hit me in the face
Sorry,
a lot
guys.
of the time.
I think not the braids, but I think it helped being
It
in,
did.
like we were going through the same kind of pain, you know. We were in the trenches together.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of that chemistry that you see, you know. We were able to trauma bond.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also, I mean, when you watch the movie, though, I mean, you're going after this thing, this catalyst. It's like the most like badass thing on the scariest planet ever created. So when you see what the challenge is, if you playing the Predator, you're like, I'm a badass. Then you hear what your opponent's going to be, and you're like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Exactly. That was exactly Dick's thoughts. But
you need help along the way. It's teamwork.
I think he's got that stubborn energy in the beginning where he's like, nah, I can do it all by myself. You know, Yautja hunts alone. But the world that he's traveled to, no Yautja have left alive, you know, because all of them have tried to hunt alone. So I think, it's a beautiful message that the film kind of gives audiences. You know, you don't have to do it all alone. It is a part of their code. It is still, you know, a thing that is in the universe, you know, but for Dick's character, he's like, you know what, nah.
I'm going to do things different
I'm gonna
from
do
the way my
things my
family
own
did.
way. My family's trying to kill me, so that's not working.
Exactly.
So it's interesting hearing your talks with Dan and what a Predator superfan he was, and explaining some of the mythology to you. What was your conversation like with Dan as far as playing these synth characters and how you can make them more human than we've seen since in this world before?
I mean, we had many conversations. I mean, also what makes Dan great is he's really collaborative and open to all your ideas, and he's such a cinephile like himself. He loves an iconic like movie moment and just knows how to make it epic, and was really open to hearing, what I had to say. I mean, I think for us it was also the rhythm of like, the movie's so much more, but an element of it is like a buddy comedy. So it's like to get that rhythm right, the cadence of hitting the jokes, but also not trying to be funny. It's just kind of inherently funny because of the situation that we're in. And, like you heard Dimitrius a second ago, but he's speaking Yautja the entire time. So we also had to create the rhythm with me responding in English, but he's responding in Yautja, so it was complicated, the layers to it, and also, at times she is a robot, so wanting that to come through as well. I mean, I have like double jointed elbows, and I can do funny things with my eyes, and I can keep them open for a really long time, and so I know there's special effects for all that now, but I'm like, we did a lot of that on our own.
We don't need a green screen.
Dan loves all those little things. Like, do that again. So, we definitely, I also think that Tess is a little like Prometheus-like in a way. She's a little more in that zone. But, I love Bishop. He was someone that we loved. And because he's cut as well. Bishop gets cut.
Oh, yeah, he gets it bad. Yeah,
he gets it bad. So that was definitely like a little inspo and a little Easter egg. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask you guys this. Don't spare my feelings, okay? I mean, you look at me. I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I'm a pretty good athlete, I think. I'm 45 years old, so not necessarily in my prime physically, but I'm close to it. If you put me on Planet Genna, it can be years, days, minutes, seconds. How long am I surviving for?
13.
Seconds?
Yeah. Nah, I'm joking.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I know,
13 actually
that's
sounds,
a long, I know, I'm like,
yeah.
0.5, no.
I mean, hey, if you were to meet Dick and Thia on the journey with Bud, and you're on Genna, maybe
you might have a
bit
shot.
of protection
there. Please take me with you.
Yes.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
Dan, you're the perfect person to ask this first question, not just as the director of the film, but also as a Predator superfan that you are. What do you feel that Badlands adds to the legacy of Predator that we didn't have before?
Well, now for the first time in the movies, just the term Yautja, which is the name, of course, for the Predator species that was first brought about in one of the novellas and popularized in all the ancillary material in the fanship in the comics, and has never been in the movies. And that goes beyond that word. Like, so much of the iconography of the culture that you see in the movie comes more from concept art, from fanship, than in the movies themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you are looking for inspiration to make this movie, you're obviously, we have the films, we have novels, comic books, that kind of stuff, Killer of Killers.
Uh-huh.
But then we also have stuff that just like fans have dreamt up, and it's like, oh no, that would look awesome in this movie.
There's tons of that, tons of going to the comics. And then, of course, I shouldn't say of course, but I personally always felt there was something connected to the Yautja culture within Conan and like the paintings of Frank Frazetta or the things you'd see in Heavy Metal magazine. So I look to all of that to infuse and inspire the artists in the movie.
And then when we talk about genre, like, you know, I go back to being a kid walking into like Video Update, right? And it's like, okay, which section am I going to find Predator in? It could be in horror, could be in action, could be in sci-fi. There's a lot of different genres, and we add more to the mix here.
Yeah.
What was there a genre you were looking to lean into more than we've seen in previous Predator films?
Yeah, it started with Prey and it being a little bit more of an adventure movie, and I just went sort of full force there now with Badlands and thought a lot about, there's a movie I watched growing up called Mysterious Island that had a bunch of Ray Harryhausen stop motion and continuing that thought of like the first half of King Kong, the Skull Island portion. Normally it's humans being torn apart by crazy creatures, and I just thought how cool would it be to see the Predator up against ginormous, insane creatures and the planet itself.
The planet itself, my God. I mean, and then you have this creature, this Calyx, that is like the most badass creature on the scariest planet in the universe. Can you set up for our audience what this thing is that the Yautja is up against?
Yeah, it's the creature that's sort of the alpha of Genna is something that Dec hears about when he's learning about what kind of hunts he could go on. And this is legendarily known as the impossible creature, the thing that can't be killed. And so, of course, Dec finds himself needing to prove his worth, and the only thing that could possibly do it is by trying to kill the thing that can't be killed, and that's the Calyx. Yeah.
So a thing that I just wasn't like prepared for, even as far back as when we were talking about this at Comic-Con, the amount of fun I was going to have watching Elle's synth interact with Dimitrius's Predator and that chemistry that they build, where we never lose the spirit of Predator, but there is new stuff here.
Yeah.
And it starts with language, it starts with emotion. When you're building that, and was there a moment on set and you saw them working together, and you're like, oh, we got a winning chemistry here. These are real buddies.
Yeah, it's when we filmed the campfire scene. And it's a kind of scene that you never would see in a Predator movie. And it was so charming and so winning there on set and then all the way throughout post. And when we started testing the movie, people's favorite scene was the campfire scene. Of all the insane action the movie has, their favorite scene was that. And there were elements to it that I was sure we were going to have to cut from the movie because there were some bits that weren't narratively needed, but yet they were so winning, and I was so delighted that those were also fans' favorite moments as well. And so, yeah, that's really where it all came together for me, for sure.
What about this planet are you most excited for audiences to see?
Oh my gosh. I don't know that there's a single thing. I mean, I guess what delights me is how thought through it all is, and everything. We didn't just think of, like, sometimes you see a movie like this and the planet is majestic, the place is majestic, and the creatures are trying to kill him. But this time, it's really everything from the blades of grass to the trees to the flora and fauna on top of the crazy creatures that are all trying to kill Dec.
Yeah, I was playing golf. I saw the movie on like a Thursday night. And I was playing golf on a Friday morning. I was looking at the golf course. Like, everything here could kill me in this. So we have that as a backdrop, but then we also have this great story that we're telling. And if you're taking Elle's character, right, with these two different synths that she's playing, what were your conversations like with her as far as how we humanize this to a degree, but we're also still a synth, and we don't want to lose either one of those aspects?
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, we talked about the previous performances before, and then also talked about how it really should not quite resemble anything that was before. These synths were built with a sensitivity that the others don't have, and I love the idea that Thia was all cooped up in a lab and researching the planet, desperate to finally see it one day. And then when she finally does, catastrophe strikes, and then she's been stranded there. And that would have shaped her personality, whilst the other Elle Fanning synth would not have gone through those experiences and would have started to see things a little bit differently.
I was asking Dimitrius this too about how when he sees the script and he sees what Predator's going to be going through, what was your reaction to it? And he's like, yeah, I was surprised. Like, I was like, are we going to be able to pull this off? So when talking with him about making this Predator still the Yautja that we've seen throughout the movies and read about and seen in comics, but there's a depth to them.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, Dimitrius innately had this physical presence. We when we cast him, we had first put him through an obstacle course with a bunch of other stuntmen we were looking at to play the role. And the way that Dimitrius traversed that obstacle course was so badass, filled with awesome swashbuckle, and did it so much better than even the stunt guys did it, that I knew we had some magic with him. What I was not prepared for was how powerful a performance he was going to deliver. I remember feeling so heartbroken when we started to replace his face with the visual effects one, but thankfully we were able to find a way to still have it really be Dimitrius in there, I think as strong and fierce as he appears to be in the movie, the vulnerability comes from having to just move a little bit more. It's very subtle, but when you're that ferocious, I liken it to Conan or Mad Max, or the Clint Eastwood westerns. When you have someone that's that severe, you find yourselves rooting for them to just be a little less mean. And Dimitrius is just a tremendous actor. First time we've been able to really cast an actor first in the Predator franchise, because it's usually just whoever is strong enough and big enough to fit in the suits. So. Yeah, the movie's gift is Dimitrius. Yeah.
Any chance we get this obstacle course like a Comic-Con next year, like fans can?
Oh,
I'd be up for it.
Fun.
How would I do it? I mean,
fun. Probably not great. Not gonna lie.
And that's fair of you to say.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dimitrius and Elle, and I asked him. I was like, "Be honest. Hurt my feelings if you need to."
Yeah.
I go to the gym. I'm a pretty good athlete. How long in minutes, days, years, seconds am I going to survive on Planet Genna?
I thought you were going to say against a Predator, and I would have told you your first mistake was working out, because as long as you aren't seen as a threat, you're fine in the Predator's eyes. On Genna, as you see in the movie, pretty much as soon as he lands, Deck is already up against it. So I would say there's something that is killed right at the beginning of the sequence where Deck crash lands, and I think that would be you in those circumstances. Yeah.
He gave me 13 seconds.
Yeah.
That took out its badge of honor.
I think it's a similar answer. Yeah,
I'll take it, man. It's a win.